Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. Hopefully my computer will not update in the middle of the stream because I just got an update message from my computer. So let's hope it will listen to me when I say install later. How is everyone doing today? I hope we're having a good day. We're back to the normal scheduling format of news and rambling. Good morning, Churchy. Hope you're well. Just waiting for some more people to come in before we get going, as they say. Hoping everyone had a good day yesterday, good rest of their day. Working is always good and necessary. Good and necessary part of life. Not always fun, but still. It's always necessary for food and rent and all that fun stuff. So let's get some articles pulled up. As Drunken Uncle would say, shall we have some news? Let's have some news. Let's get some news here. There was a couple of stories I wanted to read yesterday, but because I decided to do more of a response stream yesterday, that did not occur. So we're going to cover some things that I wanted to cover yesterday today. Let's just pull up my DMs here. All right, there we go. Let's dig back through some of these articles here and find the ones that I wanted to talk about. I have a disability article. I'm going to save that for the end. Let's find oh, that's too late. Hello, or drive safe, Pinkolo. Here. We are having lighter difficulties. Where's that stupid story that I wanted? Oh God, there's a few disability stories here that I forgot about.
All right. Have a good day. I'll see everyone in chat.
All right. Drive safe.
As always.
Where's that? Oh, I sent it to Pink Hollow. That's why it's not in my DMs. Ha 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 ha. Oops. Whoopsie. Oh, well, this gives more people more time to come in and say hello. Hello, Costin. Let's attempt this again, shall we? That's why I can't find the story in my DMs. It's in Pink Hollow's DMs. That's fine. I will just go into the DM with Pink Hollow and get the story. Okay. Back. There we go. Tens of thousands of high school students walk out en masse to protest out of date sex ed curriculum in Ontario. Which, by the way, isn't even for them. But we'll get to that. We'll get to these high school students being ridiculous in just a moment. Let me get the heading here. Now, this was from Friday. So it's a few days old, but I wanted to cover it anyway because it's freaking amusing. Oh, thank you, Churchy. Hi, Hog Silk. All right. Here's the title. Here's the article.
Heading level 1. Tens of thousands of high school students walk out en masse to protest out-of-date sex ed curriculum.
Yes, they're protesting the out-of-date sex ed curriculum. That's not for them.
Bye. Link. Education Reporter. Friday. Share on Twitter. Share. Link. Isabel Piatonio.
Isabel
Friday. Share on
Piatonio
Facebook.
is the author.
Share with email. More share option. With megaphone in hand. Thea Baines, 17. Led a raucous crowd of students who walked out of class Friday in a chant for change, calling on Ontario Premier Doug Ford to reinstate a modernized sex ed curriculum and improve Indigenous education. You are currently...
So they're yelling about reinstating the new sex ed curriculum and Indigenous education. I will agree with the Indigenous education part. Students from your city did that, eh, Costin? Yeah, I think the only reason students in my region didn't do that was because it was a professional development day. So they wouldn't really be walking out of class because they didn't have class. So I wonder if my region will do a protest at some other point.
No ignorance, no hate. Let's not go back to 98, shouted the nearly 500 students from Toronto's Western Technical Commercial School, Ursula Franklin Academy and the Student School, which share a building and school field in the city's West End.
No ignorance, no hate. Let's not go back to 98. I don't think the 1998 sex ed curriculum teaches hate. I learned from that curriculum. And I'm pretty sure I know not to. Oh. Trust me, Hog Silk. This modern sex ed curriculum was for elementary school students. It was talking about gender identity. It was talking about homosexual relationships. It was talking about masturbation.
Text, black, align left, new notification, 11 point. Apple system UI font, black, align left, Sophie Ranger reply.
Oh, be quiet, Facebook. Nobody cares. You're cancer. So this curriculum would have been teaching masturbation, gender identity, homosexual relationships to elementary school students. When the old curriculum was teaching elementary school students about like puberty and, just the basic stuff. 98 was better than today. I miss the 90s. Yeah, I'm with you, Churchy. I'm with you.
Previous slide button. Students at Bloor Collegiate Institute rallying in Toronto on Friday to protest the sex ed curriculum. Some students also criticized the Education Ministry for failing to include more Indigenous content. It's estimated about 75 schools and 38,000 students in cities such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Guelph participated in the walkout. Nathan Dennett / the Canadian Press figure.
So it says 35 to 38. Wait, how many students?
Rallying in Toronto on Friday to protest the sex ed curriculum. Some students also criticized the Education Ministry for failing to include more Indigenous content. It's estimated about 75 schools and 38,000 students.
38,000 students from Toronto, Ottawa, and Guelph. So that's 75 schools. Hello, Ghost Dog.
Black. Students at Lower Collegiate Institute rallying in Toronto on Friday to protest the sex ed curriculum. Some students students at next slide button. Third party ad content. Clad in purple. Some with purple glitter on their faces. Teens waved protest signs that included education equals empowerment. Consent is key. And sex ed saves lives.
Wait, they went out wearing purple with purple glitter all over them? With what? What did the sign
Clad
say?
in purple. Some with purple glitter on their faces. Teens waved protest signs that included education equals
Education equals empowerment. Consent is key. Sex ed saves lives. Okay. Morning, Captain Brambles. Nobody is disputing that. No one is disputing any of those things. Why do you need to make yourselves look like fools to wave signs that say things that everybody agrees with?
The student-led protest was one of many that took place across Ontario on Friday. It's estimated about 75 schools, or 38,000 students, in cities such as Toronto, Ottawa, and Guelph, participated in the walkout, which was organized by student-led groups March for Our Education and Decolonize Canadian Schools. About 35 students took their message directly to Queen's Park, where they rallied out front.
Decolonize Canadian school. What does that even mean? Yep, this all stems from comfortable lives, nothing to overcome, so let's make something up. Yep. Hi, irate prostate. But seriously, like, okay, nobody is disagreeing that education is empowering and that consent is necessary and that sex education saves lives. No one is. And who taught them? Who taught them the phrase decolonizing their schools? What teacher fed them that bullshit? Seriously. What fucking teacher taught them that their schools have been colonized? What? How do you colonize a school? Is this because the lack of Indigenous education, which I already said, yeah, we should probably be learning more about the Native people that we live with? Yeah, wow, what a word salad. Yeah, I agree with you, Ghost Dog. Oh yes, I am white. And not only am I a colonizer, but I I'm an interbreeder because my husband's not white, so I'm a terrible person. Hi, Red Feather One. Yeah, yeah.
A walkout is a classic student protest strategy. It shows that we value something over our learning. Seth Baines, a grade 12 student at Western Tech, who helped organize that protest. In this case, we value a good education over having an outdated and not inclusive education, which is what the Ford government is bringing back. You are current.
Okay, no, the Ford government is not saying that the 98 sex ed curriculum is written in stone and is the only thing that will ever be taught. Exactly. Just be happy. Exactly. But seriously, Doug Ford himself said that he's repealing the 2015 curriculum and is wanting an updated one. He just didn't agree with that particular one. And the best thing he could think of to do was repeal and put back in place the 1998 sex ed curriculum for elementary students. He's even saying that there should there are people who are rewriting it and hoping to resubmit a new curriculum for 2019. Doug Ford is not saying that this curriculum is written in stone and it is codified and it is the only one that will ever be taught. This is ridiculous.
Thea Baines participated in the student-led protest at Western Technical Commercial School, Ursula Franklin Academy and the Student School, which share a building and school field in Toronto's West End. She was one of the student organizers. Figure. Thea Banks participated in the student-led protest. End of. Thea Banks. The walkout, promoted through social media, was in response to the province. End of. The walkout, promoted through social media, was in response to the province's repeal of the 2015 health and physical education curriculum for elementary students, which some social conservatives say is not age appropriate. This curriculum was replaced with sex ed material used between 1998 and 2014 that doesn't overtly address issues such as gender identity, consent, and same-sex relationships.
Okay, so the information they're using is between 1998 and 2014. It's not like they're keeping... Seriously, it's not like they're keeping things... Oh, Costin. Yeah, you can't have logical discussions with SJWs. But you can't... They just said the information is between 1998 and 2014. So they're using at the most up-to-date information is only 4 years old. And you're teaching stuff to elementary school students. You don't need to go into the complexities of gender identity and same-sex relationships or even heterosexual relationships at that point. You just need to be talking about, I don't trust this gender identity curriculum. Yeah, exactly, Costin. This is... You don't need to be teaching children who most of them aren't even in puberty yet about things beyond puberty. Elementary school students need to know what's coming, so they need to know about, the changes their bodies are going to go through. When they get to high school, by all means, talk to them about gender identity. Talk to them about homosexual relationships. Talk to them about heterosexual relationships. Talk to them about masturbation and safe sex. But you do not need to be doing that in elementary school. If you're a parent like me, I was told about all of those things by my parents at a very young age because I asked. Okay, I asked. They didn't just randomly sit me down one day and just start cramming sex education into my head. I asked them first, and then they told me. So when I went to school and it was time to learn, I already knew that shit. But a lot of kids at that age are still going, ew, gross, whenever it comes time to learn about that shit. When you get the letter sent home that we're about to start teaching sex education, when I was in school and that letter went home, the whole class, except for me and a couple of other students, sat there for 5 minutes looking at the paper and reading the word sex and laughing and screaming ew at the top of their lungs. Do you really think 9, 10, 11-year-olds are prepared to learn properly about masturbation, gender identity, all that stuff? No. They can barely handle the term puberty without giggling their stupid little heads off because they're kids. Okay? They are kids. Stop trying to make children into little adults because you people had a fucked up childhood and you need somebody to love you and be on your level instead of being a goddamn parent. Grow up. I took sex ed for the first time in 1996 and all the basics were covered. Exactly, Churchy. We were taught about sex ed and condoms in grades 7 and 8 health class. Before that, it should just be about biology. Yep. Exactly.
The government will begin public consultations next week on creating a new sex ed curriculum. Outreach will include telephone town halls and online surveys.
Look, listen. In the article, it just said the government will be taking input on a new sex ed curriculum. So these students basically We're protesting nothing. How many you want to bet that out of like those 38,000 students that protested, how many do you want how many people bet here that maybe about 40,000 students in total, but they have to indoctrinate the children because the older ones think they're full of shit. Yep. Yeah, 12 is a fair age to start learning about this. Yeah. And in most cases, when you're 12, you're out of elementary school. You're in middle school or junior high school or senior public, whatever you want to call it. But these students were protesting nothing, and I will bet you that more students signed up to go protest than actually showed up, and the rest of them just took the day off. I'm telling you right now.
Twitter tweet, frame, Banks, third party, Banks told the Star it's important high school students speak out because the curriculum change affects our little sisters and little brothers and our cousins. You are currently on.
Oh God. Listen to the indoctrination language.
Banks told the Star it's important
for high school students to speak out because the curriculum change affects our little brothers, our little sisters, our little sisters, our cousins.
It will affect the next generation of adults, and we want everyone to grow up learning about their bodies, consent, mental health, and LGBTQ rights.
It will affect
the next generation of adults, and we want everyone to grow up.
It will affect the next generation of adults, and we want everyone to grow up knowing about their bodies, consent, gender identity, and mental health issues. Learning about mental health issues is much different than teaching your child what do LGBT rights have to do with sex? I don't know. Vamp. Hello, by the way. People didn't get sex ed 10,000 plus years ago. We're still here. Ah, yes. But cavemen did not listen to women when women said no. So caveman rapist. Like, wow.
Third party ad heading level 4. You might be interested in.
Okay, that's the end of that article. But just the indoctrination language and it's scary because these high school students are learning this from teachers. They're learning this from teachers, and then they're doing this bullshit. If you can't sit on the toilet, you don't know what you are. Yep. Is this sex class or sex ed class or SJW 101? I don't know. Some women still like caveman. Yeah. What about the cave genderqueer? They got clubbed to death. Oh wow, well done. Well done. I love it. I love it. Oh God, that's great. That's our fucking lovely province of Ontario, Canada for you, people. We are indoctrinating our teenagers so that they will indoctrinate our children. Isn't this great? Isn't this amazing? Oh, this is, oh my God. This is terrifying. Quite honestly. Oh God. And now, as if we weren't annoyed enough, as if we weren't angry enough, where's the headline for this? No, you know what? I don't want to read this Asia Argento story. I don't want to read that. There's too much crap about Asia. Trudeau tells UN summit that Canada will stand up for human rights at home and abroad. Really? Because you're not really doing a good job of standing up for human rights at home. You're really not. Just saying. Unless you're talking about immigrant rights. We're going to do this story, and then I've got an interesting couple of disability stories.
Main. Heading level 1. Trudeau tells UN summit Canada will stand up for human rights at home, abroad. Heading level 3. Facebook. You are currently heading level 3. Heading level 2. Canada giving $20 million to make Toronto black. Posted. September. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit at the UN in New York that the former South African president's message of peace was rooted in the conviction that we are all part of the same community, that our fate is tied to that of our fellow citizens. Evan Dyer /CBC.
So Trudeau was at the Nelson Mandela Peace Summit yesterday. Put Asia Argento away. She must have a new movie coming out or a Netflix series. Yeah. Asia Argento is the prime example of double down always. Yeah. I'll agree with you there, Vamp. Yeah, for sure.
194. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau kicked off his visit to the UN today by telling delegates at the Mandela Peace Summit that Canada will continue to stand up for the rule of law, democracy, and human rights at home and abroad.
Okay, well, if you're going to stand up for the rule of law and democracy at home and abroad, could you start at home first, please? Perhaps, maybe? You know, stop bringing people into the country en masse and fix the economic housing homeless crisis here, maybe, before bringing more people into the country and giving them all of the affordable housing and leaving tons of homeless people on the streets. Yes, the Nelson Mandela Peace Conference, Pincalo. Could you perhaps maybe like help deal with the opiate problem here? And there's so many issues here. You say you're doing things at home, but you're more focused on the and abroad part. She probably has a book coming out about how the 17-year-old boy victimized her. There's actually a part in the article that I was going to read about Asia Argento that talks about an Italian audience that actually mocked Jimmy Bennett. One's in the chat if you want to hear that article, because I still have it. Trudeau wants to be a superhero. Yep.
As we pay tribute to the legacy of Nelson Mandela, Canada reaffirms its resolve to push forward the work he began. Trudeau said, Canada will continue to call out the unfair treatment of racial and ethnic minorities, of women and girls, of Indigenous peoples. You are
Really? Really? But you, how many times has there been photo evidence and video evidence of you taking trips to mosques? 0. If there's you have been photographed going to mosques with female ministers, and the female ministers have had to follow the going in the separate doors, covering the heads. And this is, if we were in a different country, I would understand that. But in Canada, I guarantee you would be okay with Sharia law, Trudeau. I really do. I really think he would be all right with Sharia law. All right. Let's
The summit is being held one day before the start of 73rd session of the General Assembly to mark the centenary of the former South African president's birth. You are currently.
So they're doing a General Assembly to mark the birth of Nelson Mandela.
We will continue to speak up for the refugees of Rohingya, for the Yazidis of northern Iraq, for the people of Venezuela, Trudeau went on to say.
You will, okay, you're speaking up for, see, this is a classic example of, we're doing things for people at home and abroad, but here, let's talk all about the abroad things first. No, this is, let's go find the Asia Argento article here. Where did etcanada.com. Here we go. Asia Argento opens up about attacks after Anthony Bourdain's suicide. People say I murdered him, is the quote. And it's by Corey Abbott. And lots of pictures. Asia Argento is speaking for the first time about the death of her partner, Anthony Bourdain. Trudeau is a coward and a cuck. Yes, yes. He cares more about dressing up than, yep. Maybe Trudeau could take in South African refugees. Yeah, that would be something. That would be something. Oh, but they're white. That's why he won't take them in. They're white. Okay, here we go.
An interview with Link, Daily Mail TV. Airing Monday and Tuesday. The 42-year-old actress shares her feelings after the chef and TV personality suicide in June. You are currently. Link. Related. Asia Argento threat FSK_frame comma frame B2 death 1F. The anger kept me alive because, otherwise, this desperation has no end. There's no end. Argento admits, wiping away tears.
The anger kept you alive, did it? Is that why you did what you did? Because you were angry? Is that your excuse? You were angry that Anthony Bourdain killed himself, so you decided to how did he get in charge of Canada again? Well, he waved the promise of legal pot around, and a whole bunch of idiots went, "Oh, yay!" That's how he got in charge of Canada.
And then I was angry, yes, for abandoning my kids, the mother of 2 ads, but now it's been replaced just by this loss. This hole that cannot be filled by anything. You are currently on.
By abandoning your kids. That's the first time I've even heard you mention your kids in this whole thing, like with Bourdain's suicide, with Jimmy Bennett, with Rose McGowan. I've never heard you mention, I didn't even know you had kids. Did anyone know she had kids until now?
Bourdain, who was 62 when he died, had 1 daughter, Arian, from his second marriage to Octavia Buja. You are currently on it.
Okay, he had a daughter.
Argento also opens up about the trolling she received, with people blaming her for Bourdain's death. You are currently on.
The trolling she received, people blaming her for Bourdain's death. My boyfriend killed himself. Better cash in some victim points. Yep. Yes, it did. Red Feather 1. Oh, Vamp says, I knew she had kids, but she hardly mentions them. Yeah. And yes, Red Feather 1, it did happen before Bourdain passed away.
People say I murdered him. They say I killed him, she says. But I understand that the world needs to find a reason. I would like to find a reason too. I don't have it. Maybe I would feel some solace in thinking there was something that happened.
Something did happen. He killed himself. Yeah, she's hiding behind a dying man again. She threw her kids in there too to make people feel bad. Yeah, Bourdain did pay most of the bill to shut the kid up. Um,
One of the charges was that Argento had cheated on Bourdain, but she says it was a normal part of their grown-up relationship.
Cheating on people is a normal part of a grown-up relationship. Are you trying to say you had an open relationship, Asia, or because you can't have it both ways. If you're having an open relationship, then it's not cheating on you. If you don't have an open relationship, then cheating on each other is not a normal part of the relationship, and that's not a healthy relationship. That's a bad relationship. And what kind of mother are you to keep your children in such a relationship? That's what are you trying to say here? You can't have it both ways.
He cheated on me too. It wasn't a problem for us. Argento explains.
Okay,
You are
but
currently on
if
the
he
text element.
cheated on you, cheating implies that it's a problem, right? Am I crazy here? Yeah, she's saying she cucked him. Yeah. She was okay, but she's trying to say it was an open relationship, but then she can't use the words cheating. Yeah, grown-up relationship. Yeah. Exactly. If it's open, then it's not cheating. And if it's cheating, then it's not open. Like you can't have it. We are all crazy, but not here. Yes, there is a huge difference between cheating and being in an open relationship. Yeah, saying cheating implies deceit. Exactly.
The interview is Argento's first since Bourdain's passing, as well as her first since allegations emerged of sexual assault on actor Jimmy Bennett when he was 17 and she was 37.
Okay, so this is
You are
her
currently on the
first
text element.
interview since Bourdain passed away. I don't think, and this is her first interview since the allegations of sexual assault. So
Bennett appeared on Italian television. The interview with Bennett appeared on Italian television Sunday night, where he was mocked by the audience for his assault.
see, and this is my problem with actual male victims. Yeah, oh no, it's this woman. Yeah. And her victim was on Italian TV and got mocked for being assaulted by her.
Journalist Massimo Giletti asked Bennett about the selfie he took with Argento after they had sex. You are currently... I'm sorry, but you don't seem upset. You don't seem in this picture to be traumatized. You don't look here like someone who was afraid, Massimo said, as translated by Link, the Daily Mail. You are to loud applause from the audience. You are currently on it.
Yes, because... Yeah, 20 years. She is a predator. She held all the cards. She had the position of power. Yes, he was 17, and technically, in a lot of states, he was above the age of consent. But if, like, this is the exact same argument. If women are going to say that older men in Hollywood used their power and their stature as producers, or their pull with who they know to sleep with younger women and give them a part, and if women want to call that rape, then guess what? This is also assault. Listen and believe unless your name is Steve. Yep. But yes, this kid was totally assaulted. Totally assaulted. And then he went on Italian TV and, oh, you don't look like you're crying. You're not crying and distraught in this picture. Well, that doesn't mean he wasn't assaulted.
Journalist also asked, was the report complete, referring to whether Bennett had ejaculated.
The journalist asked the kid if he came. Are you serious? Wow. On fucking TV, you ask a fucking assault victim if he came or not. And this is okay for people because it's a guy, because this kid has a dick? Seriously? It's okay to ask this kid if he came because he has a dick? So he can't possibly have been assaulted. Really? Seriously? He wasn't like he didn't look like your typical assault victim from the television show who is like distraught and catatonic and inconsolable. And he came, which is, by the way, none of you guys' business, journalist. Yeah, she wasn't crying in the picture either. She's now saying she was assaulted by him. Exactly, Churchy. But wow.
When he replied, well, yes, members of the audience moaned. You are link related. Anthony on Sunday.
Yes, because the body, the physical body, when it reacts to something, that must obviously mean that you enjoyed it. Like emotionally, too. Wow.
Frame. On Sunday, CNN broadcast the first of 5 final parts and known episodes Bourdain completed before.
Okay, so CNN is broadcasting the final parts unknown episodes that Bourdain did before he passed away. But that is fucked up. You don't fucking ask assault victims that kind of question. That is wow. Fucking wow. I'm almost speechless. Jesus Christ. Yeah, some female rape victims have orgasms too. Does that mean they weren't raped? Exactly, Churchy. Morning, Cult of Krill. I've decided, Cult of Krill, that I'm going to do the coffee stream every day during the week. So every day at 10 a.m., Monday to Friday. For about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how things are going. Yeah, she went from saying it was consensual to now he insulted her. She's a liar. Yep, they are victim blaming. Does that mean we can ask a woman if she came now as well? Okay, yeah. Exactly. Me too unless you're hashtag me too unless you're male. Yep. Hello, Mr. Shadow. Welcome. I hope you enjoy what you've found. When people like me are shut out of college and university, no wonder the government is failing to get disabled people into work. This is from the UK. It's from the Independent. And we'll take a gander at this article. But first, Asia Argento has driven me to drugs. Shit. I need the mute button. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Well, let's find out. Let's find out what shit your country has done now, Hog Silk.
Heading level 2. Louis Makepeace said his college told him he would be a safety risk if he studied catering. Like him, I've been told no time and again.
So, Louis Makepeace said he would be a
Heading level
Wait.
2. Louis Makepeace said his college told him he would be a
Said
safety
his
risk if he studied
college
catering.
would be
Like
a
him.
safety risk if he studied catering. Like him, I was denied. Okay.
Link. Element black on white. Tuesday, August 28th, 2018, 10.
This is
39.
from 28th of August, so it's a few weeks old. But it's still an interesting read.
List 1 item. 7 comments. End of list. Post. D20138. Click to follow. Button. 238. Shares. They are simply not prepared to make. They are simply not shares. They are simply not prepared to make the necessary adjustments to accommodate me, said Louis Makepeace. Group. You are currently on a group.
They are simply not prepared to make the necessary arrangements to accommodate me. Well,
they are simply not prepared. End of. They are simply not prepared to make the necessary adjustments to accommodate me, said Louis Makepeace. SWNS/John. 18-year-old Louis Makepeace was set to begin studying catering at college in September, but his place has been rescinded. But it's not because he didn't get the grades he needed. You are currently on it.
So an 18-year-old was denied his place at college in September, but it's not because he didn't get the grades he needed.
Makepeace has a form of dwarfism called achondroplasia and a 3 foot 10 inches. He said that the college told him he would be a link safety risk to other pupils rather than make adjustments, such as installing a lower surface in hob. Part of Worcestershire College has reportedly advised him to find another course, telling his mother he would never be allowed to work in a commercial kitchen. A spokesperson for the college said it could not comment because the student's place on the course was still under discussion.
Okay.
You are currently on a text element.
This is a hard one. Yes, this is the midget who was told he couldn't study cooking, opinionated Scotsman. Now, I have been told that I can't work somewhere because the office didn't want to install a piece of software on my computer, or on a computer. Now, I can understand why this kid is upset. However, I'm pretty sure there's a law that states that there has to be a reasonable request for adjustments to be made. But if it's an unreasonable request, then the college still has the ability to deny your place. Now, installing or building a whole new cooking station that's lower, that's a fairly costly addition to a classroom. And I'm guessing there aren't very many people with hyperaplasia or that have dwarfism in general. So that is a big ask for a college. Now, we don't know if they have the funding for that. They may. But it is much more complicated than, say, installing a piece of software on a computer. Now, to say that he will never work in a commercial kitchen, that's unfortunate. It's harsh, but it's true. If he wanted to be a caterer, he would have to start his own business. And he would need to find somebody that would be willing to let him apprentice under him. You cannot ask other pupils to try and learn catering and cooking while a renovation is going on. Because that's what it would be. It would be a renovation of a classroom, of a teaching area. Let's see what else this article has to say.
Let's be clear. This treatment could potentially be considered illegal. The link. Equality Act 2010. Says education and training providers have a duty to make reasonable adjustments so disabled people are not placed at a substantial disadvantage to non-disabled students. Equally, if an employer refused to hire Makepeace because of his needs, that would constitute discrimination.
But, okay, a reasonable adjustment is not renovate this classroom so that this very rare disability can go and learn how to, like, this kid's gonna need one-on-one training. When I worked at the hardware place, we had adjustable countertops, and they wouldn't go as low as this guy needed, and they were like $5,000. Yeah. yes, to be fair to the school, his situation is so unique that he would be more of a burden than a gain. Yes. Now he will have to go be a wrestler. They want colleges over here waste more money on making the buildings look nice than their courses. Yeah. Building codes require countertops to be a certain height, I believe. Yes, I think so too, but I'm not sure. Um, but yes, unfortunately he would be a risk. If he wants to be a caterer, he is going to need to find someone who can do one-on-one work with him. It's not a feasible renovation for the school to make. Unfortunately, it sucks. Like, speaking as someone with a disability, it really fucking sucks. But this is probably a really stupid comment, but couldn't he ask for a mobile stool to reach counters instead? You know what? I thought about that myself. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
But even if it is against the law, this is no anomaly. In fact, I know that it's indicative of how a great number of people with disabilities are greeted throughout education and employment, with a no-can-do attitude, and no attempt to meet their personal needs.
Now, this author is correct, but unfortunately, they're also not looking at the fact that this school, unfortunately, in this situation, has a point. There's a big push now for the "there's nothing you can't do" attitude for disabilities. And unfortunately, there are some things that you can't do with certain disabilities. Like, you wouldn't tell somebody like me that, of course, you can go get a driver's license and drive your car around town. There's nothing like. No, he couldn't. UK takes safety limits to a retarded level. Okay. A small cooking countertop is not a small request. I feel sorry for him, but shit happens. Yeah. It would, yeah. Um, yeah, unfortunately, this kid is just not it like I said, it sucks. But that's the breaks, and it's unfortunate. But that's just how it is. So, yeah, it's so far it's been left where the schools can't comment because they're still discussing his case. So it doesn't seem like they've made a final decision, but I'm gonna have to come down on the side of I'm sorry, kid, but them's the breaks. It really sucks. But that's the shitty part about being disabled. You gotta find, like, this is why I have my YouTube channel, because I honestly don't have the energy emotionally to keep repeating myself over and over and over again when people tell me, how can you do this? How can you operate a computer? How can you answer a phone? Like, just simple call center jobs, even. Being told, oh, yes, you have the job, and then being told, oh, no, wait, we don't want to put a piece of software on a computer for you because we can't always guarantee that you get that computer. Well, If that's the only computer that has the software on it, why would you give it to anyone else? I would drive better than some of the people I've seen. Yeah, that's probably true. Um, but yeah, that's why I have my YouTube channel, because I love talking to people and I love doing this, and it's my little way of bringing in a few extra bucks to help the family so that I'm not just sitting on disability, and that I can teach my kids, you know, just because you get denied in normal work doesn't mean you can't figure out how to bring in a little bit of extra money and help yourself. Um, so that's why I do this. That's like I do this because it's fun. I like doing it, and it's a way to bring in a few extra dollars so that I feel that I'm helping a little bit more than just a disability check. It's and it's very fun. If I wasn't allowed to go to Normandy for history class due to safety concerns, state insurance, then he has no hope. Yeah. Yes. It's probably for the best the school said no. It's worse to start the course with all of the yeah, we can accommodate you and then get left behind. Yes. I've dealt with it. And that was Microsoft that did what I said. Yeah. What I just told you about the training and everything, um, getting told that I had um, gotten the job and all I needed to do was the training, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh no, we're not going to be able to accommodate you." That was Microsoft that pulled that crap. So yeah, like I said, it's unfortunate, but that's what happens sometimes. Hold on, I'm just gonna mute really quick. So those are my stories that I have for everyone today. I recorded some audio last night for a short um, new kind of video that I'm trying out, like a 1 minute public service announcement type thing, about things that are not helpful for blind people. So if you guys like that, please let me know and I will make more. Um, if anyone's got any questions for me about anything, um, like my blindness or my channel or whatever, please feel free to ask. Um, I'm gonna take this time out real quick so there's no dead air to just show in the description there you'll find a link to the Streamlabs and the Patreon, and that does help support the channel, and as I just said earlier, helps me bring in a couple of extra bucks for the family. So yeah, you'll find those links in the description. If there's any sort of like articles you guys want me to look for, because I do try and find some different things while I'm looking for stuff to talk about on the coffee stream. If you guys are out and about on your internet travels and you find something that you might think that I would find interesting to cover, um, my my DMs are open. You can send stories to me at Blind Press on Twitter, if you have Twitter. Pinkalo says I'll be editing that video tonight and hopefully it'll be up tomorrow. I enjoy listening, to be honest, and even more happy that you enjoy doing it. Well, I'm glad you enjoy Hog Soap. I'm really glad because it's very fun for me. I I'll tell you, when I was a little kid, I used to pretend to do radio shows all the time. And like this week, Blind Press gets a new chair. Yes, actually, because of I don't know, Ghost Dog. I don't know. Um, Another company tried to tell me that because they worked with American clients and their security was different than ours, that they would not allow me to have a screen reader installed on their computers. So these are just some of the things that people will come up with um, to not hire blind people. But as I was saying, because of your wonderful donations, I am able to get a new office chair so that I'm not just sitting on a folding chair. Because right now I'm sitting my office. Um, my office has a folding chair in it, and I put my feet on my guitar case, and I sit with my computer on my lap. So I'm super ghetto streaming. I have no desk. So yeah, you guys are your amazing donations and help are helping me get a comfortable office chair so that my back isn't as bad. Yeah. Woohoo! I have a cane right now, Scotsman. I do plan on going to get a guide dog, actually. I need to get that paperwork filled out and the application sent off, because my goal is to get a guide dog in the winter so that I can learn how to use the guide dog during the most difficult traveling season so that everything else will be simple after that. The school that I want to go to is in Ottawa. Um, oh, what kind? Oh, hold on. Let me finish my thing with Scotsman here. Um, it's so I want to go to a school that's in Ottawa, which is about 6 hours away from here, but it gets very snowy in the wintertime up there as well. And I want to learn how to use the guide dog in the hardest traveling season, so that I'm pretty much good to go any other time. But now that I've got a house and 2 kids, I think it's time for me to have a guide dog. It's a Epiphone Les Paul Custom Pro, Churchy. And it's a gorgeous. I love it. It's pretty. I just got to get an amp. I do not have an amp at the moment. Hold, please. Muting again. Yes, it's a gorgeous guitar. I love it. I'm reteaching myself how to play. Uh, I haven't played in quite a few years, so I'm relearning. But it's lots of fun when I get better and I get an amp. I do I do want to I do want to get better at it and start recording covers um, because I do sing as well. So I'd like to do a few like rearrangements of some of my favorite songs and have a playlist. Um, well, next thing, help her get an amp. Yep, that would be awesome. Um, so yeah, I would like to have some a playlist of just some covers that I've done up on the channel. Ooh, nice, Churchy. Very nice. Yes, I love music. Music is has always been a huge part of my life, so I would if I would love to also have a keyboard, like a piano, because then I could yes, I could make my own intro song. Um, I want oh, okay, you'll send Pinkalo a picture, nice. I would love to get myself a piano keyboard, not like nothing fancy or anything like that. Um, just a full 88 key keyboard so that I could do some piano and guitar, like put them together. Um, it would be really fun. There's one that I would like to get, and I think it's under $300 that I would love to get at some point. But I think I'll work on getting the amp first because you can get an amp for if you know where to go, you can get an amp for about $100. I don't need a giant crazy amp. I just need a small little amp, just a few watts. I don't want to blow up my house with sound. Let's see. It's 11:12. Let's go until what are my favorite bands? I have quite a range. I like, your classic stuff, your AC/DC, your Iron Maiden, your Alice Cooper, your your Black Sabbath. But I also like, Disturbed. Um, I like Rob Zombie. I like Metallica. I like Tool. Um, yeah, maybe able to find a decent one at a pawn shop. Red Feather, yeah. Um, I'll admit to liking Nickelback, although they did have a few bad albums. Um, their newest one is back slight a bit back to their roots, though. Um, I you know I like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm kind of all over the place. Um, I had an uncle who was about 5 years older than me, so and I was at my what was I gonna say? I grew up listening to his music, and he was, he listened to a lot of varying stuff as well. So my tastes are kind of all over the place. Um, I did a lot of classical training for piano and stuff. Um, what was I gonna say? I'm trying to read chat, so um, it's hard to read chat and answer questions and blah. I need a producer. Like now, back to driving. Yep. Um, so yeah, those are just some of the bands that I love to listen to. And Nine Inch Nails. I'm a big Nine Inch Nails, but like older Nine Inch Nails, like the downward spiral, with teeth, um, perfect drug, that type of stuff. Um, yeah, Pincalo's always dealing with stupid drivers. I'm always on the phone with him and hear, "What the fuck are you doing?" Well, guys, it's 11:15. I think we will bringing back some nostalgia with all the good music talk. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, he's a courier, so he delivers like envelopes and packages. Um, Thankfully, he's not a long haul because he gets to come home at night. Um, but yeah, it's still pretty stressful. Um, Thank you, Hog Silk. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'll see everybody around again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And as I said, if you guys do have Twitter and you are just randomly around the internet and you see something you'd like me to cover, send it to me via direct message, or just tag me on Twitter at Blind Press. And we will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for coming and watching. I will talk to everyone later, just making sure there was no last minute questions. As I said, have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow at 10.